we've created our container. It's right there. I can see it. I don't know about you. But now we're simply going to scan him. And using our hands, we're going to activate our hands briefly. We will scan his body. Now, I'm not really scanning his body. I'm scanning his subtle body. In addition, I'm scanning specific areas on his body as well. We call these gates. This is a little bit different than the Eastern system that sees these places where light and energy are brought in. They see them as swirling this way usually. They see them, they call them chakras. And that's fine. In the Kabbalah, we see them as bringing energy in or light in and then expelling negative energy or unwanted energy out that is then naturally transformed by nature. Sometimes these energy centers, as they swirl this way, like a windmill, if you will, or a paddle wheel, as they swirl, they get stuck and the wheel stops. In that case, we'll open them. Or sometimes they go too fast. We have too much energy, and there's an imbalance in the person's sphere of sensation or in their subtle body. So we scan his entire astral body, and then we'll scan even higher up. And then, of course, we'll scan special areas called gates. Now, normally this might take 15, 20, 30 minutes to scan all of these areas. And because we don't want to be imposing on an individual, sometimes we'll scan the person at the rear base or at the back and the spine as well if they're sitting up. So we want our person to feel comfortable, our patient or the person that we're working on to feel comfortable. Now, he feels pretty balanced to me, but I'm going to assume for a moment, just for the sake of this video, that there's a little bit of imbalance. Okay? So we're going to assume for a moment that there's some imbalance in his stomach area. A little bit of congestion, too much energy that's kind of coming into the stomach. Now, I don't think I'm really assuming anything. I think there is something there a little bit. Sometimes it's based on real energy. Sometimes it's based on emotional energy. Sometimes it's a combination of both. It may present itself as a stomach flu or some kind of indigestion or maybe some other kind of problem that affects the intestines or the kidneys if they're up a little higher toward the back, or the liver, or the stomach itself, such as ulcers. Okay? I don't feel anything that represents ulcers here, but I do feel a little bit of congestion. Now the next step I would do is I've already created my container. I'm literally going to take this energy and I'm using Kabbalistic divine names or ancient divine names as I do this silently in my mind. And as I take this energy, I just literally flick it into the container. Now I may do this several times repetitively, over and over and over again. I'll continue to pull this energy. And sometimes I'll have to dig in a little bit deeper and pull the energy out. Sometimes I'll have to actually use what they call a rending of the veil, and I'll actually open this up a little bit and reach inside and pull it out, whatever that negativity is. Remember, I'm not touching his physical body in any way. Because I want to keep myself in a positive state, I want to keep my hands positive, I'm constantly refreshing my hands. Now we're going to assume that we've cleaned his entire body, and I can clean any aspect of his body, one small aspect, or I can work on the entire subtle body, which is what I would normally do. I would normally work on his entire aura or sphere of sensation, and then I would focus in on that one area. But in this particular case, for the sake of this demonstration, we just focused in on this one area. Now, I'm going to rescan him, and I'm going to feel whether he needs charging. Now, for the sake of this particular video, I'm going to charge him right here at one of the gate areas. Notice that my hands are forming what we call the triangle of manifestation. I'm literally manifesting some light coming down through my body, through myself, and out my hands. Now, sometimes the hands will move out of the triangular fashion, but normally I like to kind of keep them in a slight triangular fashion to create more influx of pure, clean energy. In the advanced systems, we use various colors. Sometimes we'll use 3 colors or layered colors. We'll also use some of the ancient Egyptian forms when we're doing work in the advanced system. But that's really not necessary. We can always work with what we call the divine white brilliance or white light. Then after this point, I'm going to seal him up. There's a sealing rite that we're going to do, some energy that we're going to use to seal him up. And after he's sealed up, we're going to take and we're going to remove our container. This is the container where we put all that negative energy that he doesn't need and that he wants to transform in his life. And so we will, at this particular point, banish this negative energy or remove it. And we can keep it very simple. There's very simple methods for creating a container. There's about 3 or 4 different methods. This is one that's a little bit more complex, but there are others that are usable. I've taken away the negative energy. I've invoked some positive energy, some divine white brilliance into him, some healing light. And at this point, he's laying down, so I'm always going to help him sit up because we don't want him to be dizzy. And there might be a little bit of dizziness. Now, there's one final step, and that is I want to give what we call the health rays that emanate from his aura. I want to give them a light brushing. So opening my fingers up, much like a good somebody who works on these kinds of things, almost like an artist. It's a feeling. It's almost like a type of finger painting, but I'm literally opening him up. I'm literally opening up these health rays. As I open up these health rays, he feels more invigorated, more energy and light come into his sphere of sensation, and the result is a person that's more balanced, happier, and healthier. Now, is there any disease that we cannot have some effect on? No. Does Ruach healing work in every case? Yes. We don't always necessarily affect physical healing all the time. Sometimes it's a matter of reducing pain. Sometimes it's a matter of giving a person a stronger sense of purpose and energy. Other times we're focusing on emotional energy that may be trapped within the person's sphere of sensation that allows them to feel a greater sense of love and freedom and happiness for their life. How do you feel?
Great.
Tell the camera that.
Fantastic.
Great, good. Thank you for volunteering, and thank you for letting me come into your computer and talk to you about Ruach healing. You can visit us at ruachhealing.com.